The next thing we're going to look at is what the final letter is going to look like before I get started creating it. So I'm going to show you a completed letter, and we're going to look a little bit at the spacing of what a business letter should be spaced as. We are going to be creating block style letters, which means all of your paragraphs begin on your left margin. This is the quickest and easiest way to create a business letter. There are a modified block and other different styles, but most people will go with the block style. So that means all of our margins are going to be on the left hand side. Now something that I'm going to do, because my window of display is a little bit small here, is I'm going to close the ribbon at the top to show you what I want to show you. So if you look at the right hand lower corner of your ribbon, there's a collapse ribbon button, and that will take the ribbon out of the way. Now if I needed to use part of the ribbon, if I wanted to go to the home ribbon, I could click that home tab and still get my ribbon back, but it gives me a little bit more screen display. You can do that even when you're using a maximized or full screen display. So here is our previously created letterhead that we opened from a template. And this is my keyed letter that we're going to key. And what I've done, and this is something you may want to notice, is I've got a little bit of space below the letterhead and before my date. And again, it's going to begin at the left-hand margin. Then I've got 2 to 8 spaces, 2 to 8 blank lines between the date and that address that we're going to put in there. So the reason is if your letter is really short, you don't want to have a lot of blank white space at the bottom of your letter. So put in extra blank lines between your date and your inside address so that it fills up some of that white space in the middle of your letter. Between your address and we have the salutation, which is our line that is our who we are addressing this document to. And if it's a business letter, it should be usually a Mr., Mrs., or Ms. And the last name. And it should be ending with a colon. And then we want 2 spaces and then the body of our letter. So we've got our date, our inside address, our salutation, the body of the letter, and then we're going to end the letter with a complimentary close of some type, and then the signature block, which is your name, and then oftentimes below your name in a business letter you would include the title, your title. So that would be known as the signature block at the end. And again, there's double spacing between the paragraphs, but then between your complimentary close and your name, there should be 4 spaces so that you have room for a signature at the bottom of a letter. So that's what your spacing should look like for your letter.